من تراب الجمهورية العربية الصحراوية الديمقراطية، ولكن أيضا لأن اليوم هذا رايكم واقفين في وجه أعتى القوى اللي جايبتها دولة الاحتلال المغربي تدفى بها وشاكة عنها لتحميها وتدافع عنها. دولة الاحتلال اللي كيف تعرفوا لا حول لها ولا قوة، ولكن فاتبعت نفسها واللي عندها مشي كامل يا كانها تجبر ذاك ما قد تجبر خلال 50 سنة من التشريد ومن الغزو ومن
Good afternoon, members of the press and fellow delegates. My name is Martinez van Schalkwijk. I'm the Deputy Permanent Representative of South Africa to the United Nations. As you probably know, the UN Security Council has just renewed the mandate for the United Nations mission for the referendum in Western Sahara, in short MINURSO, until 31st October 2026. We would like to express our disappointment, however, that the UN Security Council since 2007 Good afternoon, members of the press and fellow delegates. My name is Martinez van Schalkwijk. I'm the Deputy Permanent Representative of South Africa to the United Nations. As you probably know, the UN Security Council has just renewed the mandate for the United Nations mission for the referendum in Western Sahara, in short MINURSO, until 31st October 2026. We would like to express our disappointment, however, that the UN Security Council since 2007 recognized and acknowledged both the Moroccan autonomy plan or proposal and that of the Sahrawi people, while the latest resolution has taken the unfortunate step of support for conducting negotiations based only on the Moroccan plan, while neglecting the self-determination and proposals of the Sahrawi people. This calls into question the core mandate of MINURSO to facilitate the holding of a referendum on giving expression to a just, lasting, and mutually acceptable political solution which would provide for the self-determination of the people of Western Sahara. The issue of Western Sahara is both a peace and security matter and a matter of decolonization. Therefore, it can only be resolved through direct talks between Morocco and the Bolisario Front. It cannot be resolved through a non-inclusive peace process with preconditions for negotiations, such as using Morocco's proposal as the only framework to negotiate a mutually acceptable solution. Petitioners from Western Sahara, Tindouf, and the international community come before the Special Committee on Decolonization and the Fourth Committee of the General Assembly each year, pleading for the parties to the conflict to hold genuine dialogue and develop a political plan that is mutually acceptable to both parties to the conflict. We hope that these sacrifices are not made in vain. Western Sahara is the last remaining colony on the African continent. South Africa maintains that the self-determination of the people of Western Sahara is paramount. We will support any final decision that is taken by the Sahrawis on this issue. Self-determination remains a principle that South Africa holds sacrosanct and applies in cases beyond that of the African continent. South Africa reiterates its support for the important work of the United Nations mission for the referendum in Western Sahara. Similarly, we have full confidence in the Secretary General's personal envoy in Western Sahara, Mr. Staffan de Mistura. Through MINURSO, the United Nations must take urgent steps towards holding this long-promised referendum on self-determination so that the Sahrawi people can determine their own destiny. This is their fundamental right under international law. I'll now hand over to Ambassador Sidi Mohamed Omar, the representative of the Bolisario Front. Ambassador.
Good afternoon, fellows of the media. Many thanks, Ambassador, and many thanks, South Africa, for your principled support for the Sahrawi Republic in our struggle for freedom and independence. Today, the Security Council has adopted a new resolution extending the mandate of the United Nations Mission for the Referendum in Western Sahara, MINURSO, for another year. The extension of MINURSO mandate today testifies to the Security Council's continued commitment to a just, lasting solution in line with its relevant resolution in Western Sahara. In today's resolution, the Security Council recalls and reaffirms all its previous resolutions on Western Sahara and reaffirms its commitment to assist the parties to achieve a just, lasting, and mutually acceptable political solution consistent with the principles and purposes of the UN Charter, which provide for the self-determination of the people of Western Sahara. In this regard, we would like first to express our deep gratitude and appreciation to brotherly Algeria for its principled support of the Sahrawi people, a historic position of which we are very proud. We are also very grateful to brotherly Algeria for its strong commitment to the UN Charter and firm defense of international law. And we take this opportunity to warmly congratulate brotherly Algeria on the 71st anniversary of the outbreak of the glorious November 1st revolution. We also express our many thanks to Russia, China, and Pakistan for their abstention today, which once again sends a very strong message to those who seek to deviate the peace process in Western Sahara from its unanimously agreed course, and in doing so seek to sacrifice the rule of law, justice, and peace for short-term political expediency. We also thank all those countries that have supported the right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination as the only basis for any peaceful and just and lasting solution. Particularly those countries who have made it very clear that today's resolution does not imply any recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over Western Sahara. In other words, and in plain English, it does not imply recognition of Morocco's illegal military occupation of Western Sahara. The leadership of the Frente Polisario are assessing the resolution recently adopted by the Security Council on MINURSO and will make our official position public in due course. However, I would like to highlight some points at this stage. Today marks 50 years of Morocco's illegal occupation of Western Sahara, which was deplored by both the Security Council and the General Assembly. It's been 50 years of brutal occupation and oppression, but also 50 years of struggle, resistance, and above all, a strong commitment and determination by our people to defend our freedom and independence, for which we have paid so dearly. The Frente Polisario is the legitimate and the sole representative and voice of the Sahrawi people, who have massively taken to the streets across the world these days to say loud and clear that they are strongly attached to their non-negotiable right to self-determination and independence, and to defending their right and sovereignty by all legitimate means. Therefore, the Frente Polisario strongly reaffirms the unwavering determination of the Sahrawi people to continue their liberation struggle and resistance by all legitimate means to realize their national aspiration for freedom, independence, and the re-establishment of the sovereignty of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. In the meantime, we remain ready to engage positively in the UN-sponsored process in Western Sahara. As you know, we submitted an expanded proposal to the Secretary General on the 20th of October, which is an expansion on the proposal that we had already submitted in 2007, and we remain ready to engage in the peace process base it on our expanded proposal to achieve a just, peaceful, and lasting solution which would provide for the self-determination of the people of Western Sahara in accordance with Resolution 1514 of the General Assembly and other relevant United Nations resolutions. I will now reiterate some points in Arabic. إن جبهة البوليساريو هي الممثل الشرعي والوحيد وصوت الشعب الصحراوي الذي نزل إلى الشوارع هذه الأيام وفي كل مكان من العالم للتظاهر بشكل حاشد وليقول بصوت عال وواضح إنه متمسك بقوة بحقه غير القابل للمساومة في تقرير المصير والاستقلال وبالدفاع عن حقوقه وسيادته بكل الوسائل المشروعة. ولذلك تؤكد جبهة البوليساريو بقوة وعزم عزم الشعب الصحراوي الثابت على مواصلة كفاحه ومقاومته التحريرية بكل الوسائل المشروعة لتحقيق تطلعاته الوطنية في الحرية والاستقلال واستعادة سيادته على كامل ربوع الجمهورية العربية الصحراوية الديمقراطية. والآن سأوجه رسالة من مقر الأمم المتحدة إلى كل الشعب الصحراوي في المناطق المحتلة من الجمهورية الصحراوية وفي المناطق المحررة وفي مخيمات العزة والكرامة والصمود وفي المهجر وفي كل مكان. أيها الشعب الصحراوي رجالا نساء شبابا وأطفالا، رأيكم اليوم تثبتوا من جديد للعالم مدى عظمة وقوة هذا الشعب. ما هو فقط من خلال 50 سنة من مقاومة الاحتلال المغربي القاشم لأجزاء من تراب الجمهورية العربية الصحراوية الديمقراطية، ولكن أيضا لأن اليوم هذا رأيكم واقفين في وجه أعتى القوى اللي جايبتها دولة الاحتلال المغربي تدفى بها وشاكة عنها لتحميها وتدافع عنها. دولة الاحتلال اللي كيف تعرفوا لا حول لها ولا قوة، ولكن فاتبعت نفسها واللي عندها مش كامل يا كانها تجبر ذاك ما قد تجبر خلال 50 سنة من التشريد ومن الغزو ومن الاحتلال، شاكة عنها بدعم هذه القوة لا تجبر ذاك. ولكن هيهات اليوم يا الشعب الصحراوي وصلتوا صوتكم للعالم أجمع وقلتوا له بصوت عالي وواضح أنكم متمسكين بحقكم الثابت في تقرير المصير والاستقلال واستعادة السيادة على كامل ربوع الجمهورية العربية الصحراوية الديمقراطية، وبينكم متمسكين بحقكم في الدفاع والمقاومة المشروعة لأنه حق ثابت تقره قرارات الأمم المتحدة والقانون الدولي ولا خالق حد يقد يقلعوا من الشعب الصحراوي. إذن شعب عظيم واثبتوا عظمته للقاصي والداني واثبتوا تمسككم بحقوقكم الثابتة وبأنه شعب حر وعظيم وشعب لا يرضى الذل ولا يرضى الاحتلال ولا يرضى العبودية ولا يركع إلا لله الواحد الأحد. إذن فلتسمع دولة الاحتلال المغربي ومن يدعمها أن الشعب الصحراوي شعب عظيم ومقاوم وبأنه لا يساوم على حريته ومصيره لا اليوم ولا الغد ولا بعد الغد. Thank you very much for your attention, and if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them.
Yes. Stefano Vaccara, La Voce di New York Digital Press. Just a question on, to make sure. So the resolution, you say the resolution that passed is only concerning for you, is just the renewal of the mission, but it's nothing to do with the recognition of sovereign, there's something changed in the sovereignty of West Sahara. That's what you say, basically.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And so I ask you this: how do you feel that the UN and the Special Envoy de Mistura and the Secretary General Guterres, how do you? I mean, are you satisfied with the way they handle this process of this resolution, the way they welcoming the proposal? I mean, do you feel upset about it, or you feel that everything is okay?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, Secretary General Mr. Guterres and Personal Envoy Mr. Stephen de Mistura, as far as I know, had nothing to do with this resolution because it's the Security Council resolution. So it's up to the members of the Security Council to work on this resolution. How do we view this resolution? As I said, the leadership of the Frente Polisario are assessing this resolution, and we will make our official position public in due course. Prior to this resolution, adoption today, obviously we did engage all members of the Security Council, including the penholder, the United States of America, to convey our substantive concerns regarding certain elements contained in this resolution. And as you mentioned, and I mentioned before, the fact that this resolution does not recognize Morocco's sovereignty over Western Sahara is what member states have just reaffirmed in the chamber, because there is no mention whatsoever of a recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over Western Sahara, which, as I said, translated into plain English, the Security Council does not recognize Morocco's illegal occupation of Western Sahara. As for the so-called Morocco's proposal, which is in fact Morocco's expansionist proposal, which is much cheaper than the ink with which it's written, it's a travesty. This is what it's all about. But what is interesting, and I'm sure you're following the media, and those following the debates of the Security Council will see for the first time since 2007 that this travesty, because it is travesty, has not been described as credible, serious, or whatever. It has not been described as such, which is a recognition by members of the Security Council that this is, as I said, it is just a travesty, an insult to everything that has to do with the self-determination, all the principles and purposes of the UN Charter. The Morocco, the occupying states, will definitely interpret the resolution in a completely different way. But if we remember the debates leading to this resolution and the first zero draft that was tabled, we will see that we have traveled a long way from that a draft resolution, because what the occupying states sought was to infuse certain elements in the resolution, but the message is very clear today by the Security Council that the way forward is a solution that's mutually acceptable to both the Frente Polisario and Morocco, the occupying state, and which necessarily provides for the self-determination of the people of Western Sahara. So the story is not over, will never be over, until the Sahrawi people have been able to exercise freely and democratically their inalienable right to self-determination and independence. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful weekend.